Well, no, Mr. Kennedy might not have his mute.
No, I think it's, I know what it is. Okay, Mr. Johnson, please put your mic on mute. Thank you. Jefferson County Court number 2 is back in session. The court is in session in cause number M332846. Case is filed with State of Texas versus Bruce Marco Kuti. Mr. Kuti, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kuti, could you please raise your right hand? Mr. Kuti, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kuti, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Kuti?
Good.
That's good. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Kuti, you represented in your case by your attorney, Attorney James Padgett. Attorney Padgett, how are you doing?
Doing well, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Padgett, do you waive a record in Mr. Kuti's case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Kuti, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This information alleged that on or about May 29 of 2022, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of theft. Mr. Kuti, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, sir.
And to this charge, Mr. Kuti, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, sir.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, sir.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kuti, I have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
Page 2 of this same document, there are a set of initials BC on a line next to a box that's checked NOLA contingent, which means no contest. Did you place your initials on this document? And on page 3 of the same document, there is a signature above the line that is titled defendant. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
And on the next document says titled trial court certification of defendant's right of appeal. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
At the top of this document, there are 2 boxes that's checked. The first box says check, states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
The second box says check, states that you are waiving your right to an appeal, which means you're giving up your right to an appeal. Do you understand that statement?
Yes, sir.
I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled defendant?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kuti, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir.
And is everything, and did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, sir.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kuti, are you a citizen of the United States?
Sir.
State. I have before me State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, and State's Exhibit number 2, the probable cause affidavit. State, would you like to offer State's Exhibits 1 and 2 into evidence?
Yes, Judge.
Any objections?
No
Mr.
objection, gentlemen.
No objection. State's Exhibits number 1 and 2 will be admitted. Court will take judicial notice of State's Exhibit number 2, which is in the court's file. Mr. Paget, you've advised and counseled Mr. Kuti, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
None, Your Honor.
And Mr. Kuti, your attorney, Mr. Paget, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kuti, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of no contest, the state is offered 1 year deferred, adjudication, $500 fine, court costs 60 hours of community service.
Do we know the court process?
292.
292. Okay, Mr. Kuti, the state is offering that you serve 1 year deferred adjudicated probation. During the 1 year probationary period, you'll be required to pay a fine of $500. You'll also be required to pay court costs in the amount of $292. You'll be required to pay a probation fee of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, and you'll be required to pay a reimbursement fee of $15. Your total monthly installments, that is the total amount that you will be required to pay each month while you're on probation, is $155. Will you be able to pay the $155 each month? You'll also be required to perform 60 hours of community service, and you will be required to adhere to the other standard terms and conditions of this probation. Now, Mr. Kuti, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, sir.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kuti, I will follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Kuti, if you successfully complete this probationary period, this case will be dismissed. It will not appear on your record as conviction, and you may qualify for a non-disclosure. You can talk to your attorney about the non-disclosure because he's quite competent in these matters. Now, Mr. Kuti, you're going to stand next to your attorney in front of our court clerk and follow her directions. Once you finish following her directions, you'll be free to go, and you have a blessed day.
We're not opposed.
The court is back in session and calls number M330-830. Case is filed the state of Texas versus Ronald Wayne Kennedy Jr. Ronald Wayne Kennedy Jr. is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Kennedy, you can take your mic off of mute. And
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. I'm getting some feedback. Mr. Kennedy, you need to, when I talk, put your mic back on mute. Okay, it just stopped. We don't have feedback now. Now, Mr. Kennedy, you were scheduled to be in court this morning at 9 a.m. At about 9 a.m., of course, Bailiff called your name at the courthouse door. You did not answer. The court bailiff also called your name again. You did not answer. It was sometime after the hour, 10 o'clock. And you did not answer. The court filed a motion, move for a bond forfeiture, and the court granted that motion. However, state, are you withdrawing your request for the bond forfeiture?
We are, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Kennedy, before we go any further, you need to be, when court starts at 9, you need to be here at 9, either via Zoom or in person. So, Mr. Kennedy, the bond forfeiture has been withdrawn by the state. Mr. Paget is your attorney. He was here timely. And Mr. Paget, what is your announcement in Mr. Kennedy's case?
Your Honor, this case will be disposed of. If you could give us a plea date and ask that Mr. Kennedy appear in person on that date. we can dispose of it.
Okay, give us a plea date.
October 9th, what's your other case? Put it on October 9th.
Could we go to the next Monday?
Okay, so you don't, did you want, still want?
Yeah, we can keep the other one on there, but I just want to make sure I have time to handle the cases.
Thank you.
That'll be the 16th. Mr. Kennedy, your case is going to be reset to October 16th. You need to be here in person.
Yes, sir.
On 8, your attorney and your bondsman will be given notice that you reset. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Okay, you too.
You're welcome. Court is back in session. The court is in session at clause number 23 CCCR 0390. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Denair Hyde.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hyde, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Hyde, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hyde, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Hyde?
You going good, and you?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Mr. Hyde, I have before me two documents. The first document is titled Judge's Explanation of Rights to Defendants Without Attorney. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Or are these your initials on the line that state you would like to apply for court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
I also have another document here. This document is titled Jefferson County Affidavit of Indigence. You recognize this document?
Yes, sir.
On page 2 of this same document, there is a signature above the line that's titled Defendant Signature. Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Now, Mr. Hyde, before you signed and initialed these documents, did you read the documents?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand what you read?
Yes, sir. I did.
And is everything in these documents true and correct
Yes, sir.
to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Hyde, I read your answers in these documents. Based on your answers, you meet the eligibility requirements for the appointment of a court-appointed attorney. And the attorney, is this it? Yeah, the attorney that will be appointed to represent you in this case. What happened? Hold on a minute. You will be given information to contact Mr. Doyle. Our court coordinator is going to give you that information. Once you get that information from our court coordinator, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. You as well. Thank you.
Okay. Hold on. Yeah, okay.
I have something.
I don't know.
There's a way I didn't talk to you.
Make sure he has, we need to make sure he has some bond conditions. Yeah. Yes. He has some? Here you go. Huh? Yes, he just got an attorney. Little attorney. Did we get Wynn's paperwork? Did we get Wynn's paperwork? Okay. Here you go. Yeah, I know, we're gonna do Tron. Okay. Next case is cause number 23 CC Sierra 0196. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Kong Nok Trong. Mr. Adams, your case is next. Yeah. Okay. This is Quang Nak Trong. And Mr. Trong speaks Vietnamese, is that correct?
Yes.
And we have an interpreter. And the interpreter, would you please state your full name?
My name is Tom, Thong, middle initial A is Adam, last name Nguyen, Nguyen.
Tong A. Nguyen.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Nguyen, do you swear to interpret English to Vietnamese and Vietnamese to English, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Nguyen, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Nguyen?
I'm fine, thank you, sir.
That's good. Now, Mr. Nguyen, we have before us Kong Nok Trong. Ask Mr. Trong if that is his full name.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Trong, how are you doing? You doing fine? That's good. Mr. Trong is represented in this case by his attorney, Langston Adams. Attorney Adams, how are you doing?
Well,
Mr. Adams, do you waive a record in Mr. Trong's case?
yes, sir.
Okay, now, Mr. Trong, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Trong, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Trong, you may put your hand down. Mr. Trong, I have before me a document that is titled Information Sheet. This information sheet was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. In this information, Mr. Trong, it alleges that on or about February 3rd of 2023, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class B misdemeanor offense of criminal trespass. Mr. Trong, do you understand what you have been charged with?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to discharge Mr. Trong, how do you plead? Not guilty, guilty, or no contest?
Guilty, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Trong, are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily?
Yeah, guilty.
And are you pleading guilty because you're guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Trong, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. Do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. On page 2 of the same document, there are a set of initials, CT, that are on a line next to a box that's checked Nola Contingent.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
he stated earlier that he was pleading guilty. Mr.
Yeah.
Adams, could you make that change? Have him erase that and change it to guilty and put his initial on the line instead of guilty?
I can do that.
Plead guilty, Your Honor.
Okay. Just hold on a minute. Okay, now, Mr. Trong.
Yeah.
On page 2 of State's Exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment, there's a set of initials CT on a line next to a box that's checked guilty. Did you place your initials on this document?
Yes. Your
Yes. And on page 3 of this same document, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Is this your signature?
Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next document that is titled Trial Court Certification and the Defendant's Right of Appeal, do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled guilty? Guilty.
Guilty. Yes, Your Honor.
There's one box at this that's checked. The box that's checked at the top of this document states that this is a plea bar. Before me, a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature on the line that is titled Defendant?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Trong.
Yeah.
Going back to State's Exhibit number 1, there's a paragraph at the bottom of this document on page 1 that's titled Citizenship. I'm going to go over this paragraph with you. Now, Mr. Trong, are you a citizen of the United States? No, okay. Now, Mr. Trong, if you are not a US citizen, a plea of guilty or nola contendere may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand that?
I cannot be naturalized again.
I say, it says it may result. It says if you're not a US citizen or plead guilty or nola contendere may result in your deportation, exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. Do you understand that?
Okay, Your Honor.
You understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now, I also have before me, Mr. Adams, could you have him sign this, put his initials by this paragraph stating the citizenship. Now place your initials on the line that's titled, near the paragraph that's titled citizenship, stating that you understood that. And Mr. Trong, I also have before me a document that is titled, it says English for all foreign nationals except those from mandatory notification countries. Do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled signature?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's one box, there's one word that's circled here. The word is no. And that is below a sentence that states, do you want us to notify your consular officers at this time? And the word no is circled. Is this correct?
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, Mr. Trong. Yeah, go over here. I also have before me a document that is titled Discovery Certification. Do you recognize this document?
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
And is this your signature on the line that's titled Defendant?
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Trong, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, did Mr. Nguyen, the interpreter, go over these documents with you in Vietnamese?
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you understand everything that Mr. Nguyen went over?
Yeah.
Yes, Your Honor.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor.
And Mr. Adams, pursuant to the case of Padilla versus Kentucky, did you admonish your client as to the consequences of pleading guilty or no contest by him not being a citizen of the United States?
Yes, that could affect his immigration, and let's read it. Could you reiterate to him that this plea could affect his immigration and his status?
Yes,
Okay, and that, you went over that with your client, is that correct?
Well, yes, sir.
Okay, now, state. Okay. Okay, let me do this again. Now, before you sign and initial all of these documents that I just showed you, Mr. Nguyen went over these documents with you,
yes.
and you understood everything, and he went over these documents with you in Vietnamese,
Yeah.
and you understood everything that he went over.
Yeah.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes,
State, I have before me state's exhibit number 1, the misdemeanor plea admonishment. State, would you like to offer state's exhibit number 1
Yes, Judge.
in the evidence? Any objections, Mr. Adams? No objections. State's exhibit number 1 will be admitted into evidence. Mr. Adams, you have advised and counseled your client. And you've also had the assistance of the interpreter, Mr. Nguyen. Is there any evidence that Mr. Trong is mentally incompetent to stand trial?
He doesn't seem like it. No, I don't have evidence that.
Now, just for the record,
Mhm.
Mr. Nguyen had an accident early this morning, is that correct? Where he fell.
I wouldn't get it.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay, now, does that affect you mentally? Do you understand what's going on?
No, nothing, Your Honor.
It doesn't affect him, so he understands what's going on?
Yeah.
You understand what's going on? Okay, good. So the court is gonna, well, and Mr. Nguyen, your attorney, Mr. Adams has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided, full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Nguyen, I will accept your plea of guilty. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement? And what is that agreement?
In exchange for the defendant's plea of guilty, the state has offered 60 days in Jefferson County Jail, giving him credit for 60 days, time served, tax and retired court costs.
Okay, Mr. Nguyen. Excuse me, Mr. Trong. The state is offering that you serve 60 days in the Jefferson County Jail, but you will not have to serve any more time in the Jefferson County Jail because you've already served 60 days in the Jefferson County Jail. Therefore, you'll be given credit for the time that you've already served in jail. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Now, the court costs in this case will be taxed and retired. That means that you will not have to pay the court costs because the time that you spent in jail has already paid it off. Therefore, the court costs will be taxed and retired. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Nguyen, do you understand the state's offer? Not Mr. Nguyen, Mr. Trong. Do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Trong, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Trong, if you do not have anything else holding you in jail, you should be getting out of jail today. Okay, please stand next to your attorney and follow the directions of our clerk. Once you finish following the directions of the clerk, you can follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day. And Mr. Adams, I think this is your only case.
That's it.
You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank
And
you.
Mr. Nguyen, nice meeting you. You're free to go as well.
Yes.
Once you finish with Mr. Trong, and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Court is in session in cause number M330446 and cause number 23CC Sierra 0478. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Christopher Paul Avalez. Mr. Avalez, is that your full name? How you doing, Mr. Avalez?
Hanging in there, trying to finish my career.
I understand. I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. Now, Mr. Avalez, you're representing your case by your attorney, Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore, how are you doing?
I'm great, Judge. How are you?
I'm doing fine. State is represented in this case by Attorney Kobe Hawkbar. Attorney Hawkbar, how are you doing?
They doing too.
Mr. Galmore, what is your announcement in Mr. Avalez's cases?
Judge, I believe we will eventually be able to work these cases out. One of these cases is a little newer than the other. I do have the videos. I believe I got the video between the last time we were here and this time. I've watched them, but Mr. Aviles has not had an opportunity to watch the videos. So we're asking for one continuance to reset both of these, and then hopefully we'll have them resolved when we come back.
State, you have any objections?
Fine, Your Honor. He does have to do DWI second. I think we'll be able to work him out. I understand. If he needs to watch the video, he needs to watch the video.
Yeah, it's a DWI second on one of them.
You got two DWI.
One of them says DWI, well, let's get
It's
point
only
one.
one is 1.5, but it. That would follow right away. We have an understanding, counsel, he needs to watch the video on the second.
Now, I would assume that, he has bond conditions with, requiring him,
Yeah, that's the one.
interlock.
And he's got interlock.
Okay. All right. So, the case is gonna be reset. Give us a reset date. Yeah.
Yeah. We did our letters for October already, but can you do it in November, please? We
November
gotta get those out.
November 6th.
Thank you.
November 6, 2023. Mr. Aviles, you both your cases are gonna be reset for November 6, 2023. Your attorney gonna get your recess. Once you get your recess from your attorney, you'll be free to go. Thanks for being patient with us. And you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
See you later.
Next case is cause number M333168. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Jonathan Brooks Livingston.
He's on Zoom.
Yes, Mr. Livingston is appearing via Zoom. Mr. Livingston, you can take your mic off of mute. Mr. Livingston, how are you doing?
Doing good, Your Honor. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, thanks. Mr. Livingston, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore, what's your announcement in Mr. Livingston's case? His case is on, of course, trial docket.
Yes, Judge, we're ready.
State.
We're ready.
Okay, Mr. Livingston, you need to be here tomorrow in person for 1:30. That's the time that we picked the jury. And thanks for being patient with us. You're free to go and you have a blessed day.
Thank you, Your Honor. You too.
Okay, next case is cause number M 331-846. Case is filed with State of Texas versus James M. Ratzin.
Can we hold on that, Judge?
Hold, okay, I'll hold on it. Next case is cause number M 331-406. Case is filed with State of Texas versus Stephen Anthony Sampson Jr. Mr. Sampson? Mr. Sampson, your full name is Stephen Anthony Sampson Jr.? How you doing, Mr. Sampson?
Very well.
That's good. Mr. Sampson, you're representing your case by Attorney Gelmore. Attorney Gelmore, what is your announcement in Mr. Sampson's case?
Ready.
State?
We're ready, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Sampson, you need to be back here tomorrow at 1:30. That's the time that we pick the jury. We have bond conditions in this case.
You give me a second, so you should.
Yeah. If we had him on an arraignment. Okay, Mr. Sampson, we see you tomorrow at 1:30. Let's one pick the jury. Yeah, you have a blessed day. Free to go.
I think that's it.
Let's see. Oh, no, what about Michael Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Sorry about that. I forgot about you, Mr. Jackson.
This is cause number M 333-882. Case is filed State of Texas versus Michael Cole Jackson. Mr. Jackson is on the court's announcement docket. Mr. Jackson, your full name is Michael Cole Jackson.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Jackson?
Oh, he
Little fatigue?
ready for some lunch.
Okay, I understand. Yeah, we all need to get us something to eat. Mr. Jackson, you're represented by your attorney Dustin Galmore. Attorney Galmore, what is your announcement?
Actually, Judge, can we hold on this for a minute?
Oh, okay, I will.
Let's hold on this one. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, just go have a seat. We'll call you back up. Okay, next case is cause number M 324. Okay, 403, case is filed State of Texas versus Ruben Gutierrez.
Your Honor, we hold on that case.
You gonna hold? Okay, we'll hold on it. And the next case after that is cause number M 320-275. Case is filed State of Texas versus Javier Rico Rodriguez.
I'm gonna get the question next to the translator. He understands. I've already gone through it with the translator, but just in case, he said you'd come over when we entered the plea.
Oh, I don't have it yet. I don't have a plea. Yeah, you can get her. They haven't sent it to me. Okay, this is cause number M 332-868, case is filed, State of Texas versus Brandon Keith Barnhart. Mr. Barnhart, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Mr. Barnhart?
Very well.
That's good. Mr. Barnhart, you're represented in your case by your attorney, Tom Kelly. Attorney Kelly, how are you doing?
Still good, Judge.
That's good. Now, Mr. Kelly, what is your announcement in Mr. Barnhart's case?
Judge, I'm not quite ready to move this to the trial docket yet. Can we stay on this pre-trial conference docket one more time?
State, you have any objections?
Judge.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna reset it. Give us a reset date. Barnhart, he's the first one on the pretrial conference docket.
October 23rd or October 30th.
30th.
Okay, this case will be reset to October 30th of 2023. Mr. Barnhart, your attorney is gonna get your reset. Once you get your reset from your attorney, you'll be free to go. And you have a blessed day. Thanks for being patient with us. Mr. Gal.